cute. Welcome to a 1v1 on Crossing in the Woods. This game is going to be Tomakaze versus Looney. And that does, of course, mean Love Nest is not present. He has not been dethroned. Love Nest has stepped down. He has retired. His legendary reign has come to an end. The God King Love Nest has transcended Kotu and is now one
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
with the Company of Heroes universe. He cannot be defeated. He can only be remembered and worshipped as the most legendary player that Star-Crossed Kings has ever seen. We will remember Love Nest's glorious reign fondly, but the time of Love Nest has come to an end, and now we are in a power struggle. Tomakaze versus Looney. Tomakaze playing as Soviets in the north and Looney playing as Axis in the south. We're going to see guard rifle, combined arms, shock rifle, and guard motor. Love Nest's loadout. We have to call this the Love Nest loadout. Now, I think he's earned that. This is the Love Nest loadout. So Tomakaze with the Love Nest loadout versus Looney with elite troops, Jaeger armor, and lightning war. And we'll see what both of these players choose to do. We've got 3 conscripts on the field right now against a double Grenadier MG42 opening. Some wire getting thrown down here in the middle. Grenadiers heading left to take control of this fuel point.
Pioneers here. Pioneers ready for anything.
Capture complete.
Two squads making their way towards the left side munitions point. These Grenadiers take control of the left side victory point.
Soviets ready to use.
Wire denying some cover over here on the left side. Grenadiers firing at conscripts from range. This squad of conscripts making its way straight down the central road, but will walk straight into a machine gun. Nice protection of the cutoff by Looney, except he just packed up. Would have been perfect, Looney. Why? Oh no, conscripts will be able to decap this cutoff now. So nice cutoff there by Tomakaze. Unfortunately, Looney was not positioned to counter that. Over here on the munitions point, Pios and Grenadiers engaging against conscripts, charging into short range. They shouldn't have with the Pios in green cover already right there. More conscripts moving up on the flank though, away from the cutoff after decapping it. Nice flank with those conscripts. He just decapped the cutoff and then deployed them to a more useful location. Molotov research just popped and he will toss it there, forcing all that stuff out of that green cover position, but I don't think that Tomakaze can take this engagement against this quantity of forces. There's another Molotov toss, gets one flame crit, might encourage that squad to retreat, but otherwise is forced completely off the field. We're going to be looking at a 4 conscript opening into Molotovs into tier 2. No healing yet. Looney will take control of the center victory point, and these 2 squads heading left to maybe try and counter this squad of conscripts. Thanks for the follow, 0123. And Weatros. And this MG42 is making its way right to take control of that munitions while Pios are engaging against conscripts over here in this yellow cover position. Grenadiers moving to engage against these conscripts as well.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Molotov toss on those Grenadiers right there. They will dodge. No serious damage. Grenadiers engaging at range. Yellow cover against open ground. Grenadiers might be able to win that slowly over time. MG42 grabbing the munitions left. This 2-man Grenadier squad desperately trying to maintain control of the left side fuel point. If they can get some lucky snipes, try and prevent that from being decapped. Looney can keep that fuel coming in, try and make his way towards tier 2. He has got battle phase 1 research complete. Piles are moving to build the structure now. The structure itself costs 120 manpower, 15 fuel, so he's got the resources together. And pretty okay. What happened over here? Those Grenadiers just got sniped. Squad wiped. That's not good. Looney loses a Grenadier squad right off the bat right there. That is going to make the rest of this game quite difficult.
We are losing territory.
Over here on the right side, however, he is taking a bunch of map control. MG grabbing the victory point. Grenadiers moving to take control of the fuel. Conscript squad on his flank, however, does threaten to cut him off. He's got a flamethrower. Might be able to push that squad away with that. Machine gun is faced the wrong direction for that engagement, unfortunately. Medic bunker going up in Looney's base. Over here on the left side, everything will fall into Tomakaze's control. Machine gun turns to engage against these conscripts here. Molotov will force the retreat, unfortunately. Grenadiers, however, should be able to win the engagement. The engagement for the center looks like it's going well for this flamethrower squad. Might be able to force a retreat from those very wounded conscripts. Flame burst bringing them dangerously low. They're going to start dying, so they are forced to retreat. Still no healing, by the way, for Tomakaze, so there's not a whole lot he can do about that conscript squad's health situation right now. Maxim on the field, heading right to engage against these Grenadiers, should be able to push that squad away. And one squad of Grens is heading left to engage against these combat engineers. Healing is available here in Looney's base, which he will utilize to get that MG42 back up to scratch.
Enemy contact.
Is that even a real saying? Up to scratch? Did I just make that up? Up to snuff. Back up to snuff. Demo charge spotted by those Grenadiers over here on the left side, and he will be able to destroy that. The rifle grenade. Nicely spotted there by Looney, and nicely handled. Heavy damage from that Molotov. What are you doing, Looney?
Grenadiers reporting.
The worst part is he was monitoring that engagement. Monitored a little bit late, but he could have hit retreat instead of just dying. Although those conscripts take heavy damage in return, they're not going to get wiped and will escape. That is 2 Grenadier squads wiped now.
We are ready.
Which puts Looney in a pretty awkward situation, but he is fielding himself a half-track. Maybe he can make some progress on some front with that, giving him access to forward reinforcement. None of these conscript sandbag positions will complete. Fortunately for Looney, he may be able to just blob his way to victory over here on the left side, forcing everything to retreat to superior numbers. Flamethrower is heading right to try and push away this Maxim, but it's going to walk right into its arc of fire, I think. Escapes the arc just before getting suppressed to make its way towards the center victory point. Pyos engaging against combat engineers, almost get a wipe right there. No miracle snipe in the red cover, unfortunately. Squad will get away. Conscript squad is repositioning away from the MG42 plus double Grens. One squad of conscripts defending over here on the left, but it won't be able to hold for long against that half-track. There is AT grenade research, but it would probably just be wasted munitions with a squad of Pyos right there for repairs. So he's just going to retreat immediately. Here in the center, Flamethrower Pyos taking control of the center VP. The Maxim has moved to this green cover position to engage against these Grenadiers. This squad trying to get into green cover. Even with their LMG, I don't think they can win this engagement over time without reinforcements, because they're quite wounded. Flamethrower catches a field gun in the road. Fortunately, support is on its way. That's going to have to retreat. No cutoff will be possible for Looney here. Molotov tossed by those conscripts. Half-track pushes them into the road. Very close to a wipe right there. Fortunately, the flamethrower in their retreat path has already been forced away. And those Grenadiers will also have to retreat for some healing, sticking around as long as they safely can without taking any very expensive manpower bleed. Pyos on the left side getting the fuel point captured, and the MG42 is going to move up into the munitions to see what it can do. No commander picks, by the way. 4 CPs and no commander picks. So no guards, no shocks, no G43s. Rifle grenade. Brings the Maxim quite low. May want to retreat away from this flanking squad of Grenadiers. There it goes. Field gun is set up in the central road to screen against this half-track should it get too bold. Conscripts trying to hold the line and help take control of this territory. MG42 will catch these conscripts trying to cross the river and force the retreat right there. Pyos continue backcapping in the south, and a flanking squad of conscripts will force a retreat from this machine gun. Doesn't want to eat a Molotov, and certainly doesn't want his opponent to steal that machine gun. So although he did have access to reinforcement from the half-track, decided to retreat the gun just to be safe. Grenadiers moving up here into the victory point. Should be able to get that under control, and the AT gun making its way to engage here in the center. It's going to pull back to a slightly more safe location away from those conscripts. High explosive barrage way off target. I think he might have even fired that blind. Not going to hit anything. Rifle grenade from Grenadiers forces a retreat from that conscript squad, and a flamethrower just got upgraded on these combat engineers. But these Grenadiers will get the center VP captured, and victory point control thus far has been very much in favor of Tomakaze, but Looney is trying to turn things around with a triple cap now. Pyos forcing a retreat from these conscripts on the left side victory point. Flamethrower Pyos grabbing the right side victory point in the center, at least briefly, in Looney's control as well. Oh, the Pyos lost that engagement. I thought they were doing okay, but apparently not. Maxim heading right should be able to force that flamethrower into a retreat in that red cover. I think. Didn't get suppressed. Will reposition into some green cover. Get a little bit lucky right there. In red cover, I'm surprised it didn't get suppressed on the first volley. But at maximum range, I guess. Just wasn't very good RNG for Tomakaze. High explosive barrage into the river. But Looney gambles and wins, doesn't take any big hits from that gun, and will decrew it with his LMGs. That field gun being decrewed is very bad. There's a decent chance of Looney stealing that. With half track available for forward reinforcement, I don't know, he's gambling if he makes the attempt. Okay, he's not going to. Jumps back into green cover away from those squads. Molotov toss on the right side forces a retreat from those Pyos, but Grenadiers could wipe this if not monitored. There's the retreat. Nice retreat by Tomakaze, monitoring that engagement despite also having to manage this engagement on the left. Tosses a Molotov to flush Looney out of cover. Nice mortar hits from that mortar. 13-minute mortar. Looney playing pretty similar to Love Nest style, I would say. Similar loadout to Love Nest, similar that late game mortar. Similar timing. And of course the half track is a staple of not only Love Nests, but really any aggressive Oster strategy.
We have secured the sector. We are ready for action.
So Looney has been studying. Seems to be putting it to pretty good use. But still no commander selection from either player. That's the main thing that's missing this game. Just purely Soviet and Oster core versus core, which is fun to watch, but maybe not optimal. I don't know what they're waiting for. There we go. Tomakaze picks shock rifle. Minesweeper, by the way, from Looney to try and help him take control of the left side without exploding. Nicely done. Sweeping all that up over there. Unfortunately, there are no mines. And everything here on the left side is going to be forced to pull back to safety. The LMG Grenadiers moving up to do what they can with the half-track supporting, plus a mortar is available to fire on these various team weapons, although, ooh, that snipe. AT gun snipes a Grenadier, he's going to retreat in that half-track, maybe forced to pull back, in addition to the mortar. If these conscripts get aggressive, but fortunately they are not. Grenadiers over here on the right side, taking control of the fuel and strategic points to the best of their ability, and MG42 plus Flamethrower making their way towards the central road to try and push away conscripts, Maxim, and Flamethrower. Sub hype, I missed it. I'm sorry I missed it, Zonkig, but thank you for subbing. I am very appreciative. Thanks for the subscription, and yes, I'm hoping to get a sub alert very soon. Change your title to Love Nest has retired. Good idea, Sedilli. I'll do that. It's gonna be like a super long stream title, but whatever. Engagement here for the middle. Half-track takes an AT gun shot, which brings it down to about half, and it will need to reposition to safety. Rifle grenade clears the Maxim right there, plus high explosive barrage on those Grens. Oh my god, the damage. They get away very narrowly. Over here on the right side, a mine just detonated on something, I think. I heard a mine go off. I don't know what it was. Maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken.
enemy is taking our territory.
Thank you, Cabreza, for your congratulations. It was a long, hard, glorious road, but finally I made it. Very excited to have quality options now, so that I can crank the quality up super high and not have to feel guilty. Flamethrower engaging against those grenadiers.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Shock troops on the field. Shock troops about to cross the river right side should be able to overwhelm these Grens easily, and it looks like the right side will fall into Tomakaze's control. Meanwhile, left, Grenadiers will be forced to retreat by a Maxim. MG42 needs to rotate a little bit, and Piles are taking control of the left side. Strategic point, not wanting to worry about these conscripts just yet. Plus, the half-track still needs repairs after taking that big field gun shot. Looney has his own AT gun on the field, but no tier 3 from Tomakaze yet. He's just going to go straight for Collins. He does have 343 fuel in the bank for his IS-2s. I don't think he's going to go KV-8. If he were, I feel like he would have by now, but I could be wrong. Mortar continues to bombard that machine gun right there, and Looney himself is up to 260 fuel and has not chosen a commander yet. He does have access to the Tiger in Lightning War,
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
but he will also have access to the Tiger Ace eventually if that's the route he wants to go, and maybe tech to tier 3 or tier 4 for Panthers or Panzer IVs. Needs to be very careful with that half track. Where's the field gun? Oh, field gun and Maxim both cleared back there. Half track is actually relatively safe,
We have our new weapons, brothers.
but plenty of infantry available to recover those team weapons.
The enemy is taking our territory.
How can we help?
Grenadiers heading right to take control of the munitions and various other undefended territories over here. Grenadiers taking control of the center VP, and there's a KV-8 on the field called in. Decided that he did want to go KV-8 while he waits for the manpower to come in for an IS-2 rather than double IS-2. Tiger, however, is going to hit the field almost at the exact same time as that KV-8, unfortunately, which is going to drastically limit the impact it's going to have since it didn't field it right at 9 CPs when he had the opportunity. Tiger is going in very hard on that KV-8. I'm not even sure if it's going to get away. Field gun is set up in the KV-8's retreat path. That Tiger only needs one more penetrating shot and that thing's going to go down. KV-8 destroyed immediately upon hitting the field. Thank you, Polak, for the $5 donation. Yes, sub-hype, absolutely. Thank you. That's very generous of you. Oh my god, KV-8 destroyed immediately. Which is bad news. But fortunately, he's had pretty good map control this game. He's going to be able to afford an IS-2 on top of that KV-8 very soon, and both of them will have similar fuel reserves, but Looney has much better fuel income right now, holding on to the right side. Fuel point and more strategic points than his opponent. Grenadiers taking control of the right side strategic point and victory point now. KV-8 had extremely limited impact before being destroyed, which is very expensive, but I think Tomakaze might be slightly in the lead for the infantry game also. Something to keep in mind is that at least 2 Grenadier squads have been wiped. Yeah, 2 Grenadier squads wiped. Tomakaze, on the other hand, has suffered no wipes. If the stupid button would work. 1 conscript squad wiped. And his Maxim and field gun have both been cleared several times, but he still has possession of them both. So, I don't know, probably actually pretty even for manpower, and the loss of that KV-8 may have swung things back in Looney's favor. Nelly Neal just subscribed! Thank you, Nelly, for the subscription! Nelly supports the stream in more ways than just subscription, though. Nelly, of course, does an excellent job moderating the stream. So thank you, Nelly, for the subscription, and thank you for all the time you put in moderating the stream as well. That's Very generous of you. Wow, that wipe! Tiger just wrecked that shock troop squad. Wiped in 2 shots. First shot off target, second shot perfectly on target. Wipes the squad. Now things are definitely swinging in Looney's favor. He has a very healthy infantry army. Tomakaze cannot afford to replace the shock troops because he needs to field that IS-2. And it's looking like Looney is rapidly taking control of this game, and I think the only way Looney can lose from this point is either really terrible RNG in the IS-2 versus Tiger battle, which is coming, or maybe Looney hitting a mine getting too aggressive. By the way, Teller mine here in the central road. Nice preparation for the IS-2. I don't see any other mines from either player anywhere, so...
Increase your efforts. He's firing on us. The territory is out of contact.
Not very much preparation for that Tiger over here on the north half of the river. Wow, thank you for subscribing, Hajas87! Thank you everybody for all these subs. So much support today. Thank you guys very much. IS-2 blasting Grenadiers will force them to retreat here in the center. Might detonate that Teller mine. Nope, doesn't take another shot. Tiger moving up here towards this area with Minesweeper. No, where's the Minesweeper? Minesweeper just had to retreat, unfortunately. I think it was in this general area, so I think Looney knows there's no mines on this road, but other than that, maybe feeling a little cautious about trying to cross the river. MG42 firing on those conscripts, forcing them to back off slightly. Over here, Tiger is firing on the IS-2 with double AT gun support, easily winning that engagement. Tiger falls a little low to bad RNG, but other than that, IS-2 cannot afford to continue engaging. Big mortar hit over here, plus LMG fire from range, almost wipes the conscript squad, but they will get away narrowly, and Grenadiers move to recover all territory. Over here on the left side, a Molotov toss, I think, forced to retreat from that machine gun, which means conscripts and flamethrower will be able to get some territory under control over here on the left. AT guns rotate center to point at that Teller mine just in case. Doesn't look like that IS-2 is going to hit it though. Continues working this general area. Flamethrower and Grenadiers moving back towards the south half of the river just to start playing a little more safe now that all territory over here on the right side is under Looney's control. IS-2 moving left to try and push away some forces in this area. MG42 trying to take control of the center VP, get the clock ticking further and faster in Looney's favor. He does have a 100 victory point lead. That situation is about to get even better for him as he takes victory point control in the center and left. The right side will go completely uncontested for now. One squad of LMG Grenadiers available to defend, everything else working the center and left with a significantly stronger army. AT guns set up for this push with Pyos supporting, by the way. Pyos repairing the gun and providing long-range vision against that IS-2. Will force it back. And Stuka close air support just got dropped on that, depending on what it targets. Could be good. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Pretty good damage. Nothing too crazy, but significant enough to force it off the field for a pretty respectable amount of time. And when the Stuka makes another pass, has potential to maybe take out this conscript squad, maybe anything else in the strike zone. Doesn't look like it. That field gun cleared. So probably it's just this, either this conscript squad or maybe nothing. Pretty good damage to those conscripts. They will get away alive. Over here on the right side, Flamethrower and 2 conscripts will contest this territory and should be able to get it under control away from 1 LMG Gren, although in their green cover position they almost wiped that Flamethrower. Molotov toss right there on those Grenadiers. They're going to retreat over here on the left. Minesweeper Piles and Gren's taking control of all of this stuff. Fortunately, that plane had no story to tell. Maxim and conscripts working on the left. Over here on the right side, half track moving to engage against a couple LMG Grenadier squads.
We have been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers.
IS-2 moves to support in this engagement. Currently, only one AT gun in the general area. Tiger is actually going left to engage against conscripts rather than help against this IS-2, which is leaving that half-track and Grenadiers pretty exposed. The AT gun is late to the party, unfortunately, and we'll have to pull back to a safer location. Mortar fire almost wipes that conscript squad, falling pretty low. Maxim in the area might be vulnerable as well. The mortar's only got 6 kills. It's not anything too crazy, but it is Vet 2.
Ready for panzer busting. Enemy contact.
Grenade toss on the Maxim. Kills it eventually. Tiger plus IS-2 over here on the right side engaging. With 2 AT guns supporting that IS-2 should be forced away. Crew shock from that Tiger shot. Stuns it briefly in the river. I think it should be able to get to safety. Especially with all these shots bouncing. And that AT gun pulling back to the base for healing and reinforcement. IS-2 should be fine. There will be a second IS-2 in 6 minutes or so. Victory point situation's not very good. Second Tiger will be available as soon as Looney loses pop cap. It's just pop capped. With a pretty big core of team weapons and infantry. Which is fine. He can probably actually survive quite well on 100 of 100 pop cap, only 1 heavy tank in his composition. Probably doesn't need a second one, although his opponent will have a second one, so he's going to have to make good use of his support. And he's actually going to go battle phase 2 and possibly 3. Give himself access to tier 4 while he's pop capped, since tech tiers don't cost pop cap. It's a good way to keep his resource float down and give himself access to the more pop cap efficient Panther later in the game, should he need it. And he won't have to suicide as many squads to support his Tiger with the Panther as he would to get a second Tiger onto the field. Tiger hits the IS-2 on its rear armor, bringing it very low, very fast. If this IS-2 overextends itself here, we could be looking at GG. It's going to have to maneuver very carefully to get back to safety. The Tiger is rotating around the south area rather than aggressively exposing its rear armor to any infantry over here, which is the safer play, although I don't know if it was necessary. He probably could have punished his opponent very hard for that maneuver he just pulled. Either way, the triple cap is continuing, and conscripts attempting to move into the capture circle are highly exposed to Tiger fire, so they're not even going to make the attempt. Flamethrower and LMG Grenadiers from the right side flank trying to force retreats from these conscripts. IS-2 trying to counter. MG-42 defending the center. MG Bunker defending the right side victory point. There is a triple cap going against Tomakaze, and it looks like GG. There may not be any way for him to stop the victory point drain. He is triple capped. Clock is ticking very quickly. And his final hope of a second IS-2 may not even hit the field.
On. The enemy has 25 points remaining. Yeah.
12 points remaining, and it seems there's nothing Tomakaze can do. GG. And Looney will take game 1 with a 341 victory point Axis victory. Pretty impressive performance from Looney here. And I'm pretty sure he's primarily a U.S. Forces player, so that just goes to show that he's very well poised to take this series. Let's see if he can do it in game 2.